What is up, everybody, and welcome. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at this Peter Rassenti small Satori, and this knife comes to us on loan, sort of from Russell, aka That's Not a Knife, and sort of from Tony Meter. I think one of them is buying this knife from the other one, and it is passing through my hands. I don't really remember which way, which direction that sale is going, but we are super thankful to have this knife on the table, and I'm really interested in comparing this knife to the full-size Satori, because the full-size Satori did come across the table, and I was not too big of a fan of it. Peter Rassenti's knives, sort of off the bat, don't really rope me in, and that just boils down to personal preference. He does a lot of really exquisite finish work on plain titanium integrals, and I just happen to prefer more color, and he doesn't do a lot of anodizing and stuff, and so I'm just generally not favored toward his knives. But the Satori in particular, the blade is enormous on that knife and quite thick, and when you do such a thing, you gotta have the detent for it. You gotta have the lockup geometry for it to make that blade sort of usable. And I just didn't feel like it was quite there on the big one. So the small one is definitely an interesting thing to take a look at. Now, if we start by just sort of taking a look at what aesthetics there are, you can see this beautiful light working finish on the frame. Peter is known for his ability to finish metal. He really does exquisite work. You can see these patinaed copper pivot collars. Presumably I'm looking at zirconium pivot screws and a zirconium clip. You can see his little logo in the relief cut there. And we are, of course, looking at this super sick Damascus blade. I really... Oh, got some dogs barking in the background there. I really enjoy the shape of the Satori blade. Just from like an aesthetic perspective. I really like the sort of long nose, the fatness of it, how much of the blade is crammed into the super thin integral handle. Always like a finger choil as well. And so you can see sort of right off the bat, the small Satori is actually definitely a normal size knife, a full size knife. You can see there's more than enough handle space even when not using the choil. And so really this should be the Satori in my opinion. And the regular Satori should be the large Satori. But to each their own. Now if we take a look at the grinds on this blade, you can just see using the light how exquisite it is. We work our way from a hollow grind to a flat grind to a flat swedge. Carved jimping. These are not thumb studs, they just act as an external stop pin. And, of course, the action is exquisite. I really feel like this should be the Satori. Because this knife is everything that I wanted the Satori to be, that the Satori was too big to give. You can see we have the blade coaxing itself into the locked position without any interference. Super guillotine. And nice solid detent. Enough to actually get the blade out on this one, which I appreciate. So, I hope you guys enjoyed seeing the differences between the small and full-size Satori. I definitely prefer the small, as that has become quite obvious. And again, while Peter's knives sort of don't fit into my my collection style, I think if I was going to own any of his knives, I I don't even think. I can guarantee that it would be one of these. And man, I really wouldn't mind it because this knife is super, super sick. I can see myself, I could see somebody carrying this knife and like this being their only custom knife. You know what I mean? Like if you're really into custom knives, but you can't be a collector and you're the kind of person that, you know, maybe you only have a Norseman, or maybe you only have, you know, a Gavco or something like that, or you only have a Thorburn. I could see you only having a small Satori. Absolutely, without a doubt. This knife is fantastic. So, of course, if you guys would like to see beautiful pictures of this knife, you can do so by following me on Instagram at tovarishworks. And if you'd like to reach out to me for any reason whatsoever, you can do so by emailing me at tovarishworks@gmail.com. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you next time.